We like to say that Arts Upload proves that Kansas City is America's creative crossroads, and this next story fits right in.
It stars a steamroller and some students from the printmaking department at the Kansas City Art Institute.
No one gets hurt and some cool things emerge. Producer videographer John McGrath has the proof.
We're just glad it's a beautiful day.
Rollers with ink that are made of supply over onto this.
Oh, nice.
Well, we're doing the Road Roller event, which is basically a project we do. We grab a whole bunch of blocks and we just kind of carve them. And we come out here, we ink them up, and we use the steamroller over here. We go right through them, and it makes nice relief prints that we can, sell or we can hang or in our school. It's basically kind of what we do here today.
Just being out in the community is really, really awesome. Being able to, as a school, coordinate something that's more public and being able to show what we kind of do.
We love the fact that the Kansas City Art Institute is such an important part of our artistic community. We wanted to celebrate it, give it a chance to be down here in the crossroads and bring all that together.
It's really, really neat to see the artwork and how delicate and how detailed it is. It's an awesome experience to watch them at work.
It's kind of like a breath of fresh air kind of for us to get away from our class stuff and just kind of focus on what we like to do, which is printmaking.
I think it's just a good awareness for the Art Institute and the printmaking department. And it just shows how we can get involved in the community and have some fun, have the kids have some fun.
The theme's presidents and first ladies, so we thought it'd be funny to go first mistresses instead. This is Marilyn Monroe, who allegedly slept with JFK, and Monica Lewinsky with Bill Clinton. And Eleanor Roosevelt had a lady lover over there, but I don't know her name. I can't remember these guys' names, but they also slept with different presidents.
Well, so now we're gonna lay the paper on top of it. We're gonna cut it right to its size, so we're gonna just lay it on top of this.
Putting the blanket over so it makes a smooth impression when we roll the steamroller over it. And that firms it up. And then we back over it. Oh, nice one. Beauty.
Put in ink on a piece of block with rollers. Did you see these giant rollers? Other people have been doing the paper, handling the printing part, and another person is actually driving the steamroller. So if you look at the history of print, it took about 12 people to pull a print. So each person has a very Ford-like assembly line job in the printing process. So people are inking, people are pulling out the paper, and people are actually doing the pressing.
Printmaking generally has been pretty collaborative in, through history, and so this is kind of just a take back to that, and so it allows us to bring back and be more public with printing.
It's a good chance to see the Art Institute students and see what they're doing.
All the effort these people put into it. Great experience.